Hi everybody, David Spader here. Welcome to another episode of On Principle. In this episode, we'll explore 4 types of leaders and the types of situations in which they are most effective. Very broadly, leaders need to react to 2 types of situations, favorable and unfavorable. Favorable situations tend to be characterized by positive results, outcomes, and relationships. Unfavorable situations tend to be characterized by negative results, failure, poor morale, dissatisfaction, and low levels of commitment. We recently looked at the leadership simulation data from a couple hundred leaders in both favorable and unfavorable situations. By looking at higher versus lower performance in each of these areas, it yielded 4 types of leadership patterns. Which do you think you are? The first type of leader is what we'll call pushers. They tend to perform better in unfavorable situations than favorable ones. They lead in a manner that primarily relies on directive and controlling behaviors. They tend to be good at telling, showing, and instructing. It often results in positive results, but also with more negative feelings and/or morale. The bottom line is that they tend to over-control and micromanage when times are better, so they underperform. As you can see, about 17% of leaders fall into this group. Now, in contrast to the pushers, the pleasers tend to perform best in favorable scenarios where they lead in a manner that's primarily supportive and relating. They tend to focus primarily on relationships, engagement, and morale, but struggle at ensuring tasks are accomplished, especially during unfavorable situations. They tend to wait too long. The pleasers were about 8% of the leaders in our study. Now, the prodaptives are those leaders that perform well in both favorable and unfavorable situations. We wish there were a whole lot more of these. Unfortunately, those represented only about 7%. So those were the ones that responded, adapt, and diagnose situations across all different types of scenarios. Now, the potentials are the last group of leaders. This group of leaders is underperforming in both favorable and unfavorable situations. You can see that is by far the largest group. This group of leaders represents 67% of all the leaders in our study of several hundred. These leaders are making the most common diagnosing, responding, and adapting mistakes on a regular basis. They could be working a lot smarter instead of working a lot harder. They are also significantly underperforming their potential, so they've got a lot of upside. Now, interestingly, our findings are remarkably consistent regardless of organizational size, leader education level, or even industry. The results show why additional progress is needed to consistently achieve success and satisfaction. So where do you fall? Are you in those 93% that are a pusher, pleaser, or a potential? If so, consider joining me at our upcoming Effectively Leading and Managing workshop in Fort Lauderdale. Thanks again for joining us, and I hope to see you soon.